Scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a 9x12 page. I was going to say pocket page, but this is not a pocket page. This is a 9x12 layout, and I'm using some stuff from my stash today, and I'm not even sure what paper that was that I'm starting with. Oh, it looks like it's from that crate paper travel line, whatever that was called, this last summer. And I'm working on these two photos of Joe, and I was cutting out all of these labels and journaling bits or whatever they are from a paper, and I was going to organize them into my stash, and I was like, why did I do this? Like, I know why I did it. I did it because with all of these labels on a sheet of paper, I was never going to use them. I was never going to use them. I was never going to use the paper, and it was just sitting in my stash forever and dying a slow death. So I cut them all out so that I could put them in with my embellishments and use them. But I was like, I don't want to divide all these up. They all coordinate so perfectly and beautifully. So let's just make a page with as many as we can. And let this page be wild and crazy. And I had these two photos of Joe from the day before he turned 13, and I thought that they would be perfect with these fussy cut embellishments. So I have these two photos, and I'm going to layer them in the middle of the page, and then I'm going to build a giant cluster of all of these wordy bits around the photos. And I had like a vision in my mind of like this wild and crazy, just super layered, super busy page. And sometimes like you have to break out of the box. Like, this is not the way that I normally scrapbook, right? I'm very linear. I'm not simple, but I'm very like clean lines when I scrapbook. And I was feeling like I wanted to bust out of that box that I had put myself in a little bit. So I'm just sticking these down, and I'm not even like pre-planning. I'm just putting them where I like them, where I think that they will look good. And if they have to move, they will. And I do struggle a little bit with the bottom of this page especially, and those will move around a lot. As you can see, they are already moving, but luckily the ATG tape that I have is repositionable up to a point, so no big deal. So I'm trying to create a sort of diagonal balance on this page from top to bottom, top right to bottom left. And then I also want, the other balance that I'm looking for is right here on these side clusters. I want them to both stick out towards the edges of the page equivalently. So that's kind of the balance that I'm trying to achieve. But when I'm scrapbooking, I'm not actually thinking consciously about these things. I'm just going with the flow and letting the feeling of the layout guide me. So when I look back at designing this layout, I can say that that's what I was trying to achieve. But when I'm scrapbooking, it's definitely more of a feeling than it is a conscious thought. So I'm not loving this bottom, and you can see me really struggling with it. So I keep bouncing back and forth from the bottom to the sides, trying to bring in all the rest of these. I mean, I have so many of these that came on this paper, which is awesome. I love word art. So I'm just trying to make it work. So as you can see, this page looks in the end like it's going to look thrown together, but it actually does take a little bit more effort to get the thrown together casually look just perfectly balanced. You can see that the diagonal balance of the top right corner to the bottom left corner is sort of offset by the diagonal balance of the left to right feel. They kind of go in opposite directions, which is kind of interesting. So I decided to add this big old positivity please tag to the mix, and that really changed the way that this page was looking and changed the balance of everything. So what I end up doing after this is, instead of leaving it to just these 1.5 million word strips and maybe adding in another word for a title, I'm actually going to add in some embellishments to what I feel kind of lighten up the composition of the layout. So you can see me just fight with this bottom portion, but when I get it, I get it. So here I'm grabbing some embellishments and thinking maybe I need some journaling because I'm trying really hard to journal on all of my layouts this year. So I have this really pretty bracket journaling mat, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to put the bigger portion on the bottom, and then I'm going to take the smaller portion and layer it up on top because I really like the way that the white was adding some lightness to this journaling spot. Then I found this really cute pink spiky circle thing in my label box too, and I thought that that added a cool contrast in the different shapes that are included on this. And then I found this purple label that I'm going to add in as well as sort of a place for like a date, I think. So I had to cut this in half too so I can use it in 2 places. I'm going to put it right here, and then I'm going to put it up here, or right above this laugh a lot as well. I like the balance that it brings, having both the bracket and the pink thing, the pink spiky circle, I don't even know what to call that, in 2 places on the layout. I haven't added in that bracket mat yet, but I will, don't worry. And of course, exactly what this page needs is more word bits, so I'm just trying to shove more in there. I was feeling like I wanted the composition to go all the way from edge to edge in both directions, so that's kind of what I'm feeling here and why I'm trying to add in more stuff. So I've pulled out any embellishments I thought might work, and initially I was going to add a title, but I decided the last thing that this page needed was a title. So I pull off this hashtag and I was going to add it, but it goes right back on the page. Then I have all this other stuff that could be a title as well. I was thinking Wild Child would work. The colors work fine, but again, I'm like, yeah, no, we don't need any more words on this page. So instead I reach for the hearts in this Pink Fresh Studio heart sheet. And I'm going to add in a bunch of, like 3 each of the light blue, the pink, and the navy throughout this composition. And this is when this really starts coming together for me. I like it a lot more than I liked it with just the word strips. So of course I'm being super picky about the color distribution on this page, even though it's wild and crazy to begin with. I initially was thinking I would cluster each set of hearts in one place, which was cute for sure, but I decided against that and I decided to spread them out throughout the whole page instead. So I'm just fighting with where I want them to be. It's amazing how long it takes for me to settle on teeny tiny details like puffy heart stickers on this page. So once I've added in these puffy heart stickers, I decide that we need more iconic embellishments. So I'm going to go and look through my stash again. And I thought maybe these Amy Tangerine stickers, but they were all just too big and too wild for this page. So I pull in this pink paisley sticker sheet, and this is like the girl Wild Child embellishments. I thought maybe I could make these work too, but nope. And there are some embellishments on here that work really well for Joe and his personality. So we've got this cool cat. We've got this little ukulele, who this child keeps telling me that he wants a ukulele, so that's perfect. I wanted this rainbow, but no, that didn't work. Then I have all of these like little floral stickers as well. And I think those are the last ones I'm going to use. I'm going to incorporate some of these florals and call it good. Need to add in my journaling, and I'll rearrange some of these again. But I really like the way that these puffy stickers added just a little bit of pop to this page that was really flat and heavy before. Trying to figure out where I want that ukulele. Anyway, I'm going to add my journaling in and maybe rearrange some stickers, and I'm going to call this one good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you don't already, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. My handle is @TracyMReed. I would love to be friends over there. All right. Thank you.